Tom, it's time to get out the sad violins because it's time for an unfortunate recurring segment on the 100% Authentic Manga Podcast, In Memoriam, where we just, take some time, take a few minutes to talk about a canceled or axed series, as we like to say.
I hope there's music playing.
Oh, of
right?
course, absolutely. And I wanted to do. To introduce the series, I wanted to do a relatively recent series. Now, typically when we do these in the future, they will be shortly after the series has ended. But this one has been over for a few months. But I wanted to go back, talk about Ping Pong Peril from last year, 2025, which in my opinion is probably the single saddest new series cancellation from last year.
And jump is notoriously severe. Though
absolutely,
you knifed in the back by Jump.
As someone who's been trying to essentially do this catch up on all the new series since basically 2022, and I've been reading Shonen Jump since 2020. I'm familiar with canceled series. I've seen stuff come that I've been a big fan of. I've seen stuff come that I was like, yeah, I kind of saw it coming, but I still liked it anyways. This is one of those more in the latter that I kind of saw it coming, but also it sucks. This fucking sucks that we lost this. So, Tom, what is Ping Pong Peril? Ping Pong Peril, it was created by Yoshiharu Kataoka. Excuse me.
Can I see the name? What is it?
Yeah, Yoshiharu Kataoka. Okay, Jesus Christ, I cannot spell today. Kataoka, thank you. It's created by Kataoka Sensei, and this is his he's a rookie. This is his first series in Shonen Jump. This series got brought in with about five, it was this series and 4 others that got brought into the magazine all at once, and so it came in at a kind of tough time with a pretty heavy crowd. Not to mention there were a couple of series in a previous batch that were still sticking around that may or may not have fallen. So. It was coming in tough. The plot is simple. It stars a character named Taira. He, in middle school for 3 years in a row, was the national Japanese ping pong champion. He gets to high school, falls out of ping pong. And his parents end up, unfortunately, dying and passing away. They end up owing a shit ton of money, like 1 billion yen, to a bunch of loan sharks and bad dudes. And the opening of the series is basically him and his twin sister Momo, who are basically about to get thrown into debt slavery. He ends up kind of getting saved, kind of at his house by a sort of an ex machina character. Her name is Mutsuki, and basically she is just like, "Come on, dude, come with me," and introduces him to the underground world of Ping Pong Peril. Tom, Ping Pong Peril is a simple game. It's ping pong first to 11 points. The only thing is anything can be a ball, and anything can be a paddle, and anything can be a table. So this series brought us 6 amazing ping pong matches, and we're actually going to talk about all of them because the series beautifully in the first couple matches sets up how Ping Pong Peril works, introduces new elements to the game, and shows you how far we could have what we could have had. So, Tom, the first match in the first chapter introduces us, and it's basically a giant. It's a standard ping pong table, but it's gold, and the ball they play with is like a flint ball. So when
this has Mario coded energy.
Extremely
Mario tennis energy.
And also, by the way, the way you play, so it's first to 11 points. Of course, you got to win by 2. Single match game, so no repeat matches. You put up 100,000. You put up 1 million yen to play. So about $10,000 per match, and then the winner, it's winner take all. He basically gets tapped by Mutsuki. She's like, hey, you're gonna play for me. In this Ping Pong Peril thing, he's like,
is he good?
He's the national champion 3 years in a row as a junior high. Oh, okay, so yeah, he's pretty fucking good.
Maybe I missed
that. The first table they play in, it's gold. The ball sparks whenever it hits the table, and it's a normal fucking ping pong table, basic, but it's got some flash just to introduce. It's a ping pong shonen series. The next battle is where I was sold on the series.
Can I say like ping pong is something that most people play
totally,
in their life. But when you go and I'm sure you've gotten the recommended shorts of like Olympic level ping pong. It's like the most intense, crazy viewing experience ever. So I imagine this gets maybe to that
totally.
level.
And also too, I know like we in ping pong is home to like a lot of like great art pieces. I mean, most recently Marty Supreme, like a huge movie is about ping pong.
Well, it's Taiyo Matsumoto's
Ping Pong. The second thing I was about to bring up, ping pong the animation. And the manga too, which we should do. We should read that.
It's on my list.
Where that is about the fucking sport. This is about fucking we're shonen battlifying ping pong, and it's awesome. And we're doing all this. So where I'm sold is the second match. So the second match, he ends up going to like a bar, and he ends up playing against the bartender. So we learn basically two things in this match. Basically, not everyone who plays Ping Pong Peril is a fucking nut job, and basically he has a bar, and he basically has his bar in Japan. He has his daughter back in America getting medical treatment. So he's trying to raise a bunch of money for her playing Ping Pong Peril. So Tyra's got to go up against the fact that, hey, when he wins, it's zero sum. So he wins, someone else loses.
Dies, yeah.
So he's got to deal with that. But also they play with, on an L-shaped bar table, and how they have to maneuver around that, and he's got to jump over the fucking table to get some shots in. It's fucking sick. And then in match 3, it's in a bathhouse, and he plays against a bathhouse attendant where they're using those like shower buckets where you dump your head. They're using those as the paddle, and also all of the baths have been electrified. So if you fall in the bath, you get electrocuted. And if you fall and it's established that if you fall in the bath twice, you will get knocked out. And in Ping Pong Peril, if you cannot continue the game, you forfeit and you lose. So that we learn in the third match, Tom, if you incapacitate your opponent, you can also win Ping Pong Peril, aside from just being goated at ping pong. So of course Tyra early on in the series, he fucking wins all 3 of these games. And then his fourth match is his promotional match, and he goes up against his like junior high or his like high school, like his like high school coach, his like table tennis coach, where you're like, he's like, this is gonna be nothing. Like, what is this? And also I'm gonna get like $5 million for this match. That's crazy. So his coach takes a shit ton of steroids during the match. He's like is jabbing himself full of fucking needles,
and it works right away.
Super fucking buff, and dude, he is destroying the table, and it gets down to there's this great fucking panel where they're like right up against each other's face, and there's no table left. It's just like sticks of wood from sticking out from where the table used to fucking be. He ends up overcoming the roided out teacher. And then this is where things get a little weird. This is where things get a little weird. So he ends up beating this teacher. A robot with a generic like a line icon flies into the gym where they were playing, and he's like, "Hey, congratulations, Tyra! You ranked up in Ping Pong Peril. Like, you can now play for $5 million at a time." And I'm like, oh, "Okay, cool. We can get down this one. Now we can be getting down this $1 billion debt he's got to pay off." And I'm like, "Okay, so we can play in these higher ranked games. Perfect, sweet. Also, what the fuck? The Ping Pong Peril Society has a fucking robot drone that keeps track of this. What's going on? What's going on here?" Okay. Well, we get to the fifth game. It is against his Olympic, because again, he was going to be in the Olympics. Shit happened. His Olympic like coach or trainer or whatever, he goes up against in the fifth match, and his like trainer is like, "I got to prove that like I'm better than you, so I'm putting up 991 million yen." And I'm like, "Oh no, I don't like the sound of that. That's the whole debt. That's the whole plot of the story, Tom. He can win it all right now." I'm like, "Oh God, no." But they set it up. Tom, so we've had a golden table that sparks flames when you hit the ball. We've played on a regular L-shaped bar table, so in a regular table. We played in a bathhouse with electrocuted bathrooms. We've played a table. We played it on a table without a table. And where's the fifth match? Where do you think the fifth match is? What do you think? Where do you think the table is?
Is underwater?
No. It's
I don't know.
The Shibuya crossing. And the table are the heads of the people who are crossing. So they have to hit the ball over the intersection, and they're going. He's going through traffic trying to hit this fucking ball. And it's crazy, Tom. I'm reading every chapter being like, please lose. I've never wanted a shonen protagonist more to lose in my entire life.
You have a feeling.
Because if I know, Tom, if he loses, it's still gonna continue. It's still gonna continue. But no, Tom, he wins. He wins. He wins. He gets all the money. Well, he gets 999 of the billion. So he's got 1 million to go. And there's this scene after he basically confronts his like coach or whatever, and they kind of have their, send off goodbye scene. He's like, yeah, I got 1 million to go. And he's like, I could just work legit for the last million. I don't need to be doing this Ping Pong Peril shit anymore. Well, he ends up blacking out, and then he wakes up in a rocket ship. It's time for the last 3 chapters. Tom, our 6th and final Ping Pong Peril match is in none other than outer space, where he goes up against, in a ping pong match, a unknown entity in an astronaut suit. They are out in space, hitting the ping pong ball.
Know. It could be an alien.
And they are hitting the ping pong ball against meteors. And it is revealed, Tom, that yes, it is in fact an alien that's in the astronaut suit. The alien looks 98% like a human being, just a bit taller. And then this is where we learn what the master plan was. This is where we learn that it wasn't about this whole series. There was a greater plan. It wasn't about this shitty debt, dude. It wasn't about this debt. Tom, it's revealed in the last chapter that Ping Pong Peril is used on an intergalactic level to settle disputes between planets. And that Tyra is now going to be the Earth's representative in Ping Pong Peril matches. So he's got to save and protect the Earth by doing ping pong against God knows what kind of aliens. It got canceled.
Yeah. Maybe that's for the best of that plot setup.
Tom, you're telling me that
no, I know, but it should have been built.
It would have because it clearly would have been. It clearly would have been, and it's like one of these things where it's an interesting moment where we just get that little extra bit of world building, and then like a chapter later, they're like, "You have 5 chapters left." Like it was just really unfortunate timing, but I loved just how it's a series where the art's not that great. It's not that stellar. The characters are not that interesting, but just the hook, just the setup of seeing these crazy ping pong matches, made it so enjoyable to read. And I was praying every fucking week that this did not get the axe, but unfortunately, sometimes it just it shakes out the. Sometimes it just shakes out the way, where it doesn't. It had an initial swing online in Japan, like it was trending on Twitter, like Japanese Twitter, when it, for the first like 2 or 3 chapters were, and then it just kind of fell off. And again, it came out at a busy time, so that's Ping Pong Peril. Any last thoughts about it?
Yeah, I can't say I'm too surprised hearing the premise that. It didn't like. I could even see the higher ups at Jump like really feeling this series, and then you know what? So many turning out to be famous, great mangaka have a lot of
absolutely
just, like, good short series and cancel. And then I mean Araki's one of them. I think he could not get a series serialized for a while until JoJo finally happened. But I am glad this exists. But I almost think it would be a better.
Oh my god! That'd be amazing. It's one of these things where I will say, and why I wanted to bring it up on why I wanted to do an in memoriam for this one on the show, and maybe we will do an in memoriam for a few older ones. Specifically, I wanted to do it because I despite it being I think like 18 or 19 chapters, and despite it not really getting the full potential, I still think it is an enjoyable read, and that you would get something out of it if the premise sounded interesting to you.
It's something to check off of the red list. It's an easy read, and
it's something fun. If you go in with a good expectation, and you understand that you're not going to really see the full sauce. I just appreciate that this guy had such a greater ambition for this idea, and it would have been crazy that if this series actually stuck around, that and in around the 130, 140 chapter mark, we really would have just been in space, and this would be a fucking space battle fucking series.
I respect the way that he landed the plane.
I respect him saying, "Fuck it, I'm gonna show you what I had planned," and because that's what you get with some canceled series. Sometimes the authors like to get a little meta with their canceled series, or they like to use it as a reflection on the work that wasn't ceased. Sometimes you get to see like, hey, here's kind of what we had in store. Here's what we had planned. And that's kind of what we got with Ping Pong Peril. So yeah, I think it's a great series, and I think it's worth checking out. And RIP.